Hi guys, happy Monday. Welcome back to another episode of Soulful Living with Megs. As always, it is so great to have you here back for a moment of connection with me. Hi, my beautiful friends. How are you doing today? I hope that every single one of you is feeling so fulfilled, so refreshed from hopefully a relaxing yet fun weekend, and that you're very much looking forward to the week ahead. I am sending all of the good vibes to you as always, and I'm personally so excited for a new week ahead. You know, this is kind of the first week coming up where I don't have any crazy set plans. As you guys know, the past few weeks of my life have been jam-packed, which is great. And honestly, I'm not complaining. I love that my summer is packed with activities and travels so I can create more memories with my friends and family. But it is going to be nice to have the next week and weekend at home here in Vancouver where I can just kind of do what I want after work. I'm hoping to play a lot of sports. I have very much missed my volleyball and I was going to say soccer. I'm thinking of FIFA. I do not play soccer very well, but basketball and tennis and all of the good things. I want to get some used rollerblades and start rolling around, maybe learn how to play some outdoor hockey. I don't know, but I'm just so excited to do stuff like that, and I feel like I haven't had time for that just because I have been away. And I'm pre-recording this episode for you guys a few days earlier as well because I am going to the island. I'm going to Victoria this coming up weekend, so by the time you're listening to this, it would have been the past weekend that I was at the island. I have mentioned to you guys before that I'm a godmother now, and we're going to the baptism of my godson, and I'm so excited to meet him and spend time with the family and just catch up with everyone. Hopefully the weather will be great to just soak up the sun and all of that. And as I've mentioned before to you guys, I am obsessed with Victoria. It is truly the most peaceful and magical place, so I can't wait to go there. But yeah, I'm trying to pre-record everything before I go and organize my life, but I am looking forward to a week of nothing too crazy, I hope. Although, you know, in my work life, in my work side of everything, it has been busy and going to get busier as I wrap up my time at my current place of work and then transition to another place. But I guess I do have some vacation at the end of the month, which will be great and hopefully very relaxing. Anyway, I figured we should talk about Stampede because I just came back from Stampede myself, and by the Monday you listen to this, or, you know, a few days later, Stampede will be done. I'm pretty sure the last weekend of Stampede is this one coming up. I could be wrong, but I think it is finishing on the 12th of July. So again, by the time you listen to this, Stampede will be over. And I went to the first weekend in Stampede, and I have not been to Stampede since 2019. I do feel like I mentioned that in the previous episode of my upcoming plans. And to be honest, I was really excited for it. Leading up to the event, I was looking forward to picking out all of my outfits and to see all my friends and family, or at least the ones that I told, because I did not tell a lot of people I was coming just because the trip was limited and pretty much every day there were set plans, so I just knew that I couldn't see everybody. Anyway, I was super excited for it, like I said. And, you know, once I got there, I don't know, if I'm being honest, it wasn't it wasn't that exciting. Like, for some reason, I was expecting it to be a little bit different because this was, I guess, the first time I was going in my mid to late 20s. The last time I went, I would have been 20 years old. And, you know, I just remember going on the rides with my friends, and we didn't go for a whole lot of time. So, I don't know, I just thought that it would be a lot more fun this go around. I don't know, I was so excited for it. And I'm not going to say it wasn't fun, but it definitely wasn't worth the hype that I had in my head, if that makes sense. After like 6 years of not being there, I kind of had higher expectations, I suppose. But I figured it was a great thing to kind of talk about, to share my opinion on if I think Stampede is worth it or not, and the changes that kind of went about in the city, and just some of the things that I heard other people share about Stampede and whatnot, and maybe the problems that we have potentially in society as a whole right now for the economy and how everything is so expensive. But I'm going to recap my weekend for you guys. I'll quickly run through kind of what I did each day, and then we'll get into the Stampede aspects and stuff as to what we actually did. But crazy story. My flight on Friday was supposed to fly into Calgary, I believe, at like 9 p.m. We were supposed to land. It was supposed to leave Vancouver here at 7:30. And the flight got canceled. I got a text around like 2 p.m. I was working from home so that I could leave fairly quickly after work. And I got a text from Air Canada saying that my flight was canceled, which I was like, really? Day of? This is not the vibes. But thankfully they got me on a flight fairly quickly after that. The unfortunate part was that it was flying out at 11 p.m. and then that got delayed until about 11:40. So I didn't land in Calgary until 2 o'clock in the morning, which if you guys know me, which most of you do who listen to me, you guys know that that is far too late for my bedtime. My bedtime is like 9:30. I'd like to be asleep in a perfect world. On the weekends, 10:30, maybe 11. 2 in the morning is so absurd. But my best friend pulled through. She came and picked me up. Really appreciate you, Nat. She actually took a little nap and then came to get me, which was fabulous. And we were supposed to do a workout class in the morning, canceled it, moved it to another day, obviously, because 2 in the morning is just insane. I don't think I fell asleep till after 4. And then I was up around 9 o'clock, I guess. 8:15, I don't know. Anyway, Saturday rolls around. I spend some time with my mom, my grandpa. Really nice to see them. And then Saturday night, we are going to the grounds. And thankfully, our best friend Laura works for the Calgary Stampede. And she was able to get us in for free using some companion passes, which was a huge help because the admission price nowadays is $28. I remember when it was $20. And even that I was probably complaining about, but I feel like $20 is reasonable. I don't really understand why they increase it that much every year. If you had like a flat fee of $15, let's say, even $10 for admission, I think Stampede would still make as much money as they do. Because people would be spending money on food, on rides, on the tents, etc. Like, regardless, you're spending money. But $28 just to get inside the park is bonkers to me. Anyway, again, grateful that I didn't have to pay. But it was so busy when we got there. I have never seen it that packed before. It was quite overwhelming in the line waiting to get in. It was quite overwhelming in the just in the area where all of the food trucks were, and we were waiting in line pretty much everywhere we went. We were waiting in line for so long. It was quite annoying and quite like claustrophobic if you guys are sensitive to that. It was just, oh my gosh, it was a lot. But I was super excited to go to the lemonade stand at the Stampede, and they have a few, but you guys need to go to Family Squeeze Lemonade. That is the OG of lemonade for Calgary Stampede. I have gotten that since I was like 16 years old, maybe 15, and it is just the best lemonade I think I've ever had. So highly recommend that if you are planning on going to the Stampede next year. Get Family Squeeze. Don't get the other stuff. The other stuff is fake and not good. But anyway, we waited in line for that probably like 25 minutes, but honestly worth it. And I would say that was the best price to pay out of everything in the park. Like, it was $11, mind you, quite expensive for a drink. However, you're getting a large cup of lemonade. Yeah, it probably has a lot of ice in it, but you're getting a large drink. It really fills you up. Nat and I ended up getting 2. We got one when we got there, and then when we were leaving, we got another one because it was just so fire. But we got a few other food items that we wanted to try, and I don't know, it wasn't that great. We got some tacos that like were good in a sense, but $22 for two of them and some chips and salsa is just not worth it in my opinion. And this may sound like a complaining, ranting podcast today, so I apologize that I'm not as, positive. But I just wanted to share with you like my thoughts in the moment where I was just like, expecting it to be expensive, but then being so shocked that it was as expensive as it was because we already are in a troublesome economy. And then you're just adding so much cost that is kind of unnecessary in my opinion. And yeah, I didn't need to go. Yes, I didn't need to like spend my money on those things, but it's an experience. I haven't been in a long time, and I just was really excited to see how it would be. And a little bit slightly disappointed. But the really cool thing is that one of the biggest buildings within the park, the BMO Center, was redone, and it is so beautiful. The outside of it structurally is quite aesthetic, and then on the inside it's just huge and gorgeous. And they had all these cute vendors inside the BMO Center, and that's like one of my favorite parts about Stampede as well, is that you can walk around to the different like tables and stuff, what people are selling. Laura and I got permanent bracelets. Nat couldn't get one because of her work, but it's so cute, like decent price for that. I ended up getting some surgical steel earrings because I've been wanting some earrings for a while, and I've just never gotten like titanium or surgical steel, and I think those are the only ones that won't affect my ears. But anyway, I got that, and like that was super fun. But I don't know, everything else just seemed to be like too much almost. There were a lot of food trucks, which I love, but again, like too many lines. Maybe the system wasn't the best. I don't know. Also, we went on a Saturday night, so it was going to be packed regardless because everybody, like after work or just on the weekends, it is going to be more expensive. So I get that. We stood in line on Saturday for this photo booth, and it was super cute. Like the photo booth was adorable. The different pictures you could take, so cute. But we stood in line for like 45 minutes before we decided, okay, we're not standing in line any longer because there were so many groups ahead of us still. So we ended up leaving, deciding, we'll come back on Monday. It'll be less busy. We'll take the photos then. Because it was like 8 p.m., like that's like prime time for people to come. But yeah, the evening of Saturday wasn't too spectacular. I will say I've never seen more people wait in line for a free tent than I did that night. We walked past this one tent in the inside of Stampede that is free admission. I think it's the only one out of all of the tents that are free. And it was absurd how long the line was. There's no way all those people were getting in at the same time. And like, I'm sure by the time somebody got to the front, like they were probably waiting in line for close to 2 hours. I'm not even joking. I don't know. Anyway, Sunday rolls around. I do Stampede breakfast. We went to 2 of them. Love a good Stampede breakfast. I would say that was probably so worth the trip in itself. I love that the city does that, and it is a time for all of us to come together and to celebrate. And I just love the idea of like, I don't know, so many different groups of people throughout the city just like talking and meeting, and it's so kind and so nice that people do that. And taking the time out of their day to volunteer to serve other people in the community food, and the pancakes are just so fire. Okay, though I have a complaint about this too, is that out of all of us that went, I was the one that got the smallest portions. Why was I getting little pancakes? Like, I can eat. I want the big ones. It just so happened that both the Stampede breakfasts that we went to, the pancakes that they selected were so tiny. I'm like, why? Give me big pieces, please. Anyway, beggars can't be choosers, let me tell ya. But Stampede breakfast was great, so tasty. Because I feel like I've never had that here. Like in Vancouver, I guess we don't do Stampede, so why would we? But I just love a pancake and a syrup. So fire. And then the rest of the day on Sunday, we went to a barbecue, and that was insane. The food was so good. The guest and the company, they were great. And just like getting to meet new people. I love the Summer of Outside Energy. It is all about meeting people and I really appreciate Nat bringing me to this barbecue so that I could converse with so many people and like create a cute little memory for us. I got to meet people that I've heard so much about and just never had the opportunity to meet before. So that was really special, and the food was just insane. And then Monday rolls around and we go back to the Stampede. Laura has her day off, so we're all going together. We get there around noon, and I will say that was probably my most favorite day because it wasn't that busy. The lines, of course, we got lemonade again, but it was like a 5 minute wait altogether, maybe not even that long. So we're not waiting in these long lines, and we just have an opportunity to walk through the park without so much traffic. And it was a great day. It was beautiful outside, and we got our lemonade, we got some pizza. I tried the pickle pizza for the first time because I know that they have that regularly. It was very good, I will say. Would I get it again? Like, would I order a full pizza of that? Like, say they had it here? Maybe not. I would like to try the one from Parlor. I do believe they have a pickle pizza at Parlor, which is like Yaletown area, if you're familiar. And I have heard that that's really good, but I don't know. Would I like a full piece or a full pie of pizza? I'm not sure. Secondly, it was $11 for the slice, you guys. I wish I was kidding. And it wasn't even a big slice. Like, it was your average slice of pizza that you would get for $3 for the slice. But I still paid for it because I knew what I was getting myself into with Stampede. But, despite all of that and knowing that I was going to spend this money, I was still complaining, of course. But my oh my, we had that. And then Laura and I got pierogies. I've had these before, so I know that this is like a yearly thing that they bring in. And honestly, they are very good. They do come with a lot, but it was like $20. True, you are getting a lot. I don't know. Anyway, we had those, and then I ended up getting the biggest stick of cotton candy. One thing to know about me, for those of you who may not know, is that when I was younger, I used to love a lot of like sweets and sour candy. Like, I loved candy. I wasn't necessarily like a dessert fan, but I loved candy, and I loved like salty chips and things like that. But obviously throughout the years, palate has changed, and I don't necessarily gravitate toward candy that much, just mostly because it's junk food, and I don't eat a ton of junk food anymore. It doesn't make me feel great. But anyway, I was just craving cotton candy because I walked by it. It smelled amazing. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to get any candy, it'll probably be this because I actually enjoy it. And I might as well, since I'm at Stampede, this is the time to do it anyway. I'm not going to randomly go, I don't know, somewhere in Vancouver and get some cotton candy. Like, let's be real, it's not happening. So I should have asked for half of it, but it was a huge stick of cotton candy. It made me happy, made me feel like a kid again. I loved it. We ended up watching this like high dive performance. They were incredible. I do not know how they dove from that height, and then the depth of the pool that they were landing in was only 50 feet, so not deep at all. Anyway, super impressive. We ended up walking through the BMO Center again, looking at the cute little vendors and things like that. We watched a light performance, and then also like there was fire people. There was somebody hanging from her hair on like kind of like an acrobatic person, and then there was a guy on a hoop, or like a large hoop that kind of rolled around. It was so cool, and it was nice that they have like 30-minute performances here and there that are free for families to go and check out, or like friends or whoever. So that was fun. And then we unfortunately didn't go on any rides. That would have been a really good time, but I didn't really like plan to go on rides, so I didn't buy the ride pass, and I feel like that one does get you more bang for your buck instead of just like buying tickets. But I don't know, I didn't even look at the cost of the ride tickets. And then we went into the agricultural center, which they have a lot of like animals and stuff. So it was really cute to see the horses and the cows and the sheep and the alpaca. They were really cute. I do feel like there were less animals this year, and I don't know if that has to do with any animal rights. which is amazing, for implementing that and kind of focusing on, keeping these animals safe and whatnot, and not, subjecting them to this like show. But, we got to see a few of them. There just weren't a ton. And, I know that they have so many other things at the Stampede, like the rodeo, they have the grandstand show, they have like motorcycle riders, they have so many things going on, which again is so fantastic. And we didn't do any of those things, but it is nice that they have so many options. And then, of course, you have the tents that this year, and I feel like the past couple years, some of the tents have been outside of the Stampede grounds. They used to have all of them, in the surrounding area, but now they're kind of scattered throughout downtown. And honestly, unless you really enjoy drinking and like being in this huge like mosh pit of people ready to listen to music, I don't know if it's totally worth it. You're paying a ton of money to get in the tents, and I heard the bathroom situations aren't great. Anyway, basically that's all to say, like, that's kind of what I did on the Monday. We ended up going to the photo booth as well, which was great. Very happy we did that. We took some cute photos once we figured out where the friggin' camera was. It was quite funny. The first photo we took was hilarious. The timer was going down. We weren't ready. We didn't all fit on the bench. It was a show. It was quite funny, but we got some cute photos. And we also went, sorry to sidetrack, but we went out for a beautiful dinner after, and I just loved catching up with my friends and you know just sharing that moment with them. And it was just like a really special weekend. Very quick, I'll bet, but a special weekend. And like I said, I didn't get to see everybody, but hopefully next time I do get to have time for every single person. Anyway, in terms of Stampede, do I think it's worth it? I think it's worth going at least once in your life if you've never gone before, because I don't think you need to go every single year. It's basically the same thing. If you're down to try different foods that you never tried before, because they have so many options, like, fried food and whatnot, but they have like deep fried Oreos and deep fried watermelon this year. I heard that wasn't very good, but like they have so many different things, and every single year they bring new items to try, which I think are great. And I think that's so cool and obviously entices people to come. So I definitely think it's worth at least doing once. Just know that, you do have to come prepared with a few bucks in your pocket, because it is like an arm and a leg to get in, and then you're also paying for many of the experiences in there. But if you do your research, there are so many free things, like the couple shows that we watched. Like, we didn't have to pay for that, and it was just like nice to be outside to experience most of them. I would say that the grandstand show, from the ones I've seen in the past, are definitely worth it. I would say the Young Canadians put on a fantastic performance of dancers and singers. And then I know that they have other, artists come in and performances happening. And it's just like a very spectacular thing that happens in the evening before the fireworks, which is great. So I would say, like, that's worth it. And if you're into the more like Stampede rodeo vibes, the rodeo is great, where you get to watch like the races and stuff like that. I think that would be super fun if you're like super into that stuff. But in terms of, like rides, yeah, if you wanted to go on rides, you could, but like Disneyland's probably better, or like even Canada's Wonderland is probably better. But again, to each their own. Like, obviously this is just my opinion, but I don't know. I think I was expecting more out of Stampede than what I got. And while I'm glad I made the memories with my friends, I picked out such cute outfits that I did get to wear, so I was really happy I got to do that. Would I go next year? Probably not, unless there was an artist playing, that was on my bucket list of artists to see. I don't know. I would probably save my money and not go. But what I will say is worth it, and obviously was something I mentioned before, is that lemonade. My gosh. I don't know if they have like a store. I'm surprised I've never looked into that. If they have a store in Calgary, oh, you know what? I do think they have one. I think they have a location in Market Mall. Wait, Market Mall? Yeah. one of the food courts in one of the malls in Calgary, I'm pretty sure they have a storefront. Please go try Family Squeeze Lemonade. You will not regret it. It's so good. The only thing I wish they had was the watermelon one. They used to have a watermelon lemonade, and that was truly the best flavor. I get the fresh mint mojito one, lime mint mojito, whatever. I got that 3 times this weekend, and I just Capricorn brain consistency. I just like don't switch things. I just very much am content in what I'm used to. But please try it. And the watermelon frick, I don't know if they have it at their like actual location, but it was so good. I just remember that being such a vibe when I worked Calgary Stampede many years ago. I think I was 16 years old and I worked the Stampede, and I worked at a little ice cream shop in the Kittyland area because there is a section just for kids, which is great. Anyway, I used to get that all the time. But yeah, I think it's, you should experience it for yourself. Definitely see how it is. If you love drinking, great. Then the Stampede's probably for you. But again, you have to be mindful that the drinks are so expensive there. Like in each of the tents, it's insane how much they're charging, but I get that, this is the time to make all the money for the city. And, of course, if you like listening to music, whether it be country or there's other tents for like more EDM, like ravey music, I do think that's enjoyable. And I do think, you would have a good time regardless if you're with good people, you're wanting to try new foods, and just the atmosphere definitely is exciting and inviting. It's just really busy and hot sometimes. But anyway, what a long video to talk about my experience of Stampede, my recap of this year for Stampede. Would I go back next year? Probably not. Am I happy I went? Yes, of course, because I got to see my two best friends. I got to meet some new people, and then I got to see my mom, my dad, my grandpa, which I'm very grateful for. But could I have skipped Stampede? Probably. Like, I definitely could have missed it. But it was also fun to dress up and go out with my friends and all of that. I should get some cowboy boots because I don't actually own any, which is crazy because I live in Calgary. How wild of me. I wanted to leave you before I go. I wanted to leave you with this quote that I actually saw in a booth at Stampede. This guy was selling clothing. It's, I assume, his own line. They have like hoodies and shirts and whatnot. And there were different messages on these articles of clothing. And this one I took a picture of because I thought it was a great reminder for all of us going through a difficult time, whether it be now or in the future. Think back to this quote. I thought it was great. And it says, "You're not falling apart. You're being rebuilt, even if it doesn't feel like it." And it's a picture of a dandelion and the part, the phase of a dandelion when it's no longer the yellow flower and it's I don't even know, the little white things that fly away. Oh my gosh. I can't even think right now. I can't even speak today. My gosh. Sorry, guys. But anyway, I thought that was a great message. We are human and we're constantly learning and growing and trying our best. And sometimes there are harder days than others. And even if during a very difficult time, it feels like everything's really heavy, hold space for the fact that you do feel that way, but just know that everything is working out how it's meant to, and you're not falling apart. You are rebuilding yourself in a new way and learning new things and experiences and just doing your best. And I noticed that, and I hope that you notice that within yourself. And I loved that message as a good reminder for all of us to be a little bit more graceful with ourselves. Okay, guys, thank you for tuning into today's lighthearted episode about Calgary Stampede, where I basically ranted the whole time on if it was worth going or not. Ugh, I don't know. I think I'm just out of the phase in my life of partying, and I have been for a while, so it just doesn't entice me. You know what I think I should do is the next time I want to go, whether it's with my friends or a partner, whoever, I should get ride passes and go on these rides because I don't go on rides often. And there are a few rides that I absolutely love at the Calgary Stampede. One of them being, which is really silly that I like this one, it's like the WestJet one where you just like sit and go across. It's like a chairlift where you just fly across the whole Stampede. Love that. I would go on that, and the swings and stuff. So, I would get that next time, and then also like go in really early in the morning, get in for free because there is a free admission one of the days, and then like check out all the outdoor shows that are for free, listen to the free music that's playing outside, walk through all of the different buildings just to see what's going on, and like try a new food item that I've wanted to try. I feel like that would be a fantastic way to spend my Stampede, and just like avoid all of the tents because I just don't care that much. Maybe go catch a show on the outdoor Coca-Cola theater stage that's free if they have, like fun music that I'm into or the genres seem good. I don't know, just to experience something new. Anyway, if you went to Stampede, I would love to hear about your experience on how that went, and if it differs from mine and this is maybe something that you love to go to every year and you just like can't wait until it comes again next year. I would love to hear your experience and kind of what you got up to and what you tried to eat if you did try anything new. And I'm very excited to, start a regular week and have more content for you guys coming out that, I'm researching and that I'm super passionate about and whatnot. And I'm also excited to update you on my weekend on the island because that will be a very special weekend indeed. But I hope that your week is filled with endless opportunities of joy and love and light. I'm sending all of that incredible energy to you, so I hope that you feel it. And until next Monday, I cannot wait to see you. I will miss you so much. Kate, bye!